town. He belongs to Bobby Hamilton, who won the Craftsman Truck Race yesterday here at Darlington. Second race of the season. There's Bobby in Gatorade Victory Lane. And here are the Craftsman Truck Series standings, brought to you by Sears, with Hamilton the point standing leader after 2 of 25 races.
I believe if I was going to bet, I'd put my money on Bobby Hamilton, because he's got that Winston Cup experience, got a great team. You can see it all right there.
All the truck races on Speed Channel. Well, on further review, let's have a look back and see where Jeff Burton first got that left rear fender damage.
Coming down through here, and again, everybody's just running all over each other. 32 car dives to the outside, but to the inside. He got into the left rear there. I see Burton was moving out to try to get a run on Mark.
So Tony Stewart did not cause that damage and only got a tiny wrinkle above the tire on the right front of his Chevy.
That's Burton slowing down right there, and Tony just had to dive under him.
Jeff Burton's car has been towed to the garage with what we believe is an engine failure. And 1 week ago, same song, first verse.
It has the same look as it did a year.
Last week we thought he saw he hit the wall, but then later on we found out he didn't.
So Roush Racing's engine woes continue. Here's a look over the last 3 weeks of what's happened.
And also lost 2 engines in the Craftsman Truck Series race on Friday as well. So I know poor Jack has to be pulling his hair out. Of course, Jeff Burton came in here to 9th in points. He's going to take a big hit. And I think Steve is with crew chief Paul Andrews.
Thanks, Larry. Paul, what happened to the race car?
Well, looks like we lost an engine. A little too bad. We had a really good car here today. Citgo 4 was awesome. Jeff was really going through the field. We had some lucky breaks on the pit stops, got some good track position, but our car was real strong.
Any idea what's wrong with the motor?
Come out the bottom end. Looked a little bit like Kurt's, a little bit like ours last week also.
Engine troubles continue here in the Roush camp.
They've waved off the restart. 1 lap will go back to green. 37 laps complete in the Carolina Dodge Dealers 400 here in Darlington. Back down to pit road, and Matt.
Well, Mike, under caution gives drivers a chance to catch their breath and crew members to kind of check over tires and look at their nose, but also gives owner Jim Smith, who is at his home in California watching the race, to call his spotter, Eddie Thrapp, on top of the spotter stand. He called, and Eddie relayed the message. He said the boss called, said great job getting 5 extra bonus points for leading a lap, and he thanks you for not pitting under this caution and saving him $1,500.
Cost him a set of tires.
Exactly. You would think you could get more than about 4 or 5 laps out of a set of tires and costing that amount of money. But, you know, we've talked about crew chief Tommy Baldwin. Remember, he has 2 wins here, but with Ward Burton in the 22 car.
One of the most frustrating things as a car owner, and I know, is to take tires home from here. You look at them, you say, well, gosh, they don't look like you hardly even used them. So we didn't run them but 2 laps. But we couldn't keep, we had to change.
That's right. Here's our Singular Wireless Virtual Crew Chief question of the week. You can vote now from your Singular Wireless phone by sending the text message FOX to phone number 191, or visit foxsports.com to vote online. Remember last year, Sterling Marlin came from the back of the field to win this race.
He's going to have to come from the garage today to win it, because he got a lot of problems down there. They're working on that car. I'm sure they'll get him back in the race, but they're going to do a lot of repairs on the car.
Getting set for the restart, Dale Earnhardt Jr., the new leader, Jerry Nadeau right there with Jimmy Spencer, John Andretti, and Jeff Green. Little different looking top 5 than we often see. We'll put Fox tracks in, and how about a little St. Patrick's Day crank it up on the restart?
Sounds good to me. Let's go.
the leader. Cars that made pit stops led by Jeff Gordon coming from the back of the pack once again.
Boy, it was almost a disaster again down this front straightaway here. Jeff. Oh, Tony Stewart's in the wall off of 2.
Straightens it up.
I think that happened going down the front right here. Jeff Green put a big block on Tony. I don't know if they made contact or not, or if that was just getting up too high and getting in the loose stuff.
That's something you're going to probably hear us say about 24 times a day. Ooh, he's in the wall.
But you know, you go into the wall here, you're not running so fast, and you scrape it. You don't really slam into it unless somebody gets into you. You get up there against it, and you just kind of rub into it.
And is that, Darrell, because they're running what at Daytona they call the Richard Petty groove, or you're so close to the wall to start with because that's where you run?
Well, that's the whole thing. I mean, now these cars are so fast here, Mike, you use up all the racetrack. You use all the track that there is available to you, and you get that close to the wall, you're going to rub into it pretty regularly.
And I'm going to tell you, he hit that thing pretty hard, Darrell. That could have been ball joints, kicked the rear end over, been trailing arms. That was actually the second hit. He had hit it once before back in turn 1.
But, Larry, he's not lost position. He's still running right there in front of Casey Mears. Now, Darrell, how big a gamble is that, you know, to stay out and try to diagnose that race car after you bounced it off the wall?
See no smoke. He's got the steering wheel in his hand. He can tell if he's got a tire rub or not. So the tires aren't smoking, and you can just about run without a front end here because aerodynamics is not real important here. So it's more in his hands. They're going to be telling him, you make the call.
I'm going to tell you what, how about that kid behind Tony Stewart, though, in that 41 car, Casey Mears, only made 2 Busch starts here. He tested here, and everybody in the garage area, when you talk about young drivers, everybody will point toward him and say, give him some time, he's going to be one to watch.
But it's like Jeannie disclosed in the interview with Casey at the top of the show. He is used to running cars that are so much faster than these. What you always say, Darrell, you can slow down a guy who's used to running 240. It's hard to make a guy who runs 120 speed up.
You can pull a chain, you can't push it.
You're right.
It'll wrinkle up.
That's it. But good for him. Good run for him today. Good run for John Andretti, who Mark Martin has just passed.
Mark's got a pretty good-looking car. I mean, he's been passing a lot of race cars.
Backing up to here, next 5 or 10 laps.
Now, that's got to be a crew chief who came in and got tires on that last caution versus one that didn't. 2 seconds a lap. I mean, 2 seconds at the end of a run is about what you'll lose.
Boy, you look out the back of Dale Earnhardt Jr., you can't even hardly see that second-place car back there. He's 2.5 seconds in front of Jerry Nadeau.
There's the interval right there, back to Nadeau. A little further back, the Roush cars remaining. Mark Martin right there with Kurt Busch, now 4th and 5th.
I'm telling you, Nadeau running second after spinning out on the 2nd or 3rd lap of this race, right up in front of the whole field, and he's still out there going and in good shape.
And, of course, Kurt Busch qualified 6th, had to start at the rear of the field because of the engine change, so a lot of these guys are getting to the front from coming from the back.
Mark Martin and Kurt Busch both have good-looking cars right now. They're both handling really well. They're running good. I got to believe they're sitting there holding their breath so that nothing happens to them.
And there, John Andretti running in a solid 6th place. Dick Berggren?
Yeah, and Andretti started in 26th place, so he has passed 20 cars to get where he is. He's got a fast car, but there's still more to be had. He called on the radio and told his crew that the car is mechanically tight and aero loose. So theoretically, they should be able to adjust it and get him still some more speed. To Steve Burns.
Well, Dick, Dale Earnhardt Jr. said at the beginning of this race his number 8 car was tight. Then he said it got freed up. Now he said it's snug, and I like snug.
Every driver does, Steve. I mean, what you want is to be able to turn that wheel to the left and stay in that throttle. And if you can do that, you can run good anywhere. Because
Little tug on that steering.
You're in control. You've got the car under control. It's not, you're driving it, it's not driving you.
Kurt Busch rockets past Spencer, and that'll change 4th place. Jeannie?
Well, Tony Stewart actually had no complaints before he met the wall. Now it's actually not as bad as you might think. He has said several times on the radio that they'll have to work on the right front,